When you watch the dugout, Rocker is the heartbeat of this team. He is the one that picks guys up when they're down. They follow his lead, and on games that he is pitching well, this dugout has all sorts of confidence, Carl.
Without question, and it's easy to see why, let alone his ability. He's an imposing figure out there at 6'4", 245 pounds. And the ultimate compliment comes from Tim Corbin when you give a 10 out of 10 on a scale of being a teammate. 2014, 2019, they were the champions. So here are Rocker's numbers in 19 starts this season. More innings than anybody. Strikeouts 173. And the question's going to be what Mississippi State did with its lineup. Can they lay off the slider? That's his main pitch, but they've stacked it with 6 left-handed hitters tonight. And lefties do a little bit better against Rocker. It's minimal, but they do better. Righties hit 122 against them, lefties 208. As we take a look at our batting order, brought to you by Capital One. Rowdy Jordan will lead things off. Tanner Allen. Braylon Skinner's going to play left field. Remember, Brad Cumbas, their left fielder, got hit by a pitch last night on his wrist. He's a righty. He is available, but he was in pain today during batting practice. And a huge crowd on hand, most wearing maroon and white, as they hope to witness history and see their school win its first team championship. Jordan and Allen, the guy behind him, will leave the program when this year is up. And Rocker, that's a great start for Rowdy Jordan. One pitch, one hit, fastball into right field.
Before the pitch was even thrown, the fans were already on their feet, and they had not sit down. And Rowdy Jordan right there, not waiting for the slider at all, going after the fastball, gives the fans something more to cheer about.
Here's his best friend, Tanner Allen. They've been together since they were little kids. A .383 average out of Theodore, Alabama, the right fielder, and the conference player of the year. Perry Costello says strike one. He has the plate tonight. Jeff Heinrichs, the umpire, at first. Mike Morris at second. Steve Mattingly is at third. Jordan has 9 stolen bases on the year.
I got to think game plan against Kamar today, because Mississippi State knows him so well, is if it's first pitch fastball, they're going to be aggressive. They're going to force him to try to throw something off speed with that first pitch and see if he can land the slider, land the cutter, land the changeup for a called strike. Rowdy Jordan had that start. And if he was throwing Rowdy Jordan a fastball right there, he was going to be ready to go.
I think it's going to be interesting also when they do get to first base is, will they try to press the envelope here and just push the envelope and try to get the runners in motion?
This one is going to get to the seats, and the seats have no one sitting in them. You heard Chris Lemonis, the coach of Mississippi State in his 3rd year, say everyone's on the edge of their seats. They're currently not in their seats at all. Everyone in this building, and we had 24,000 plus last night. We'll get there again. About 23,000 of them are wearing maroon and white. They've made the pilgrimage from Starkville here to Omaha. Breaking pitch, called strike 3. Allen wasn't budging because he couldn't believe it.
Let's check this angle right here, and you see that pitch is way inside right there. And if he starts getting that call,
wow, he wasn't budging because it wasn't close.
It wasn't even close.
So Rocker the benefit of a ball off, called strike 3. Cameron James, third baseman, big time pop here, and there's a slider, strike number 1.
That's what you talked about right there, that first pitch slider.
In elimination games, Rocker 3-0 over his career. 21 in the 3rd innings, 41 strikeouts, and an .084 ERA. Jordan not going. This one to Rocker. He'll throw to second, and he throws it into center field. Errors have killed Vanderbilt here at the College World Series. That is their 11th error. And a lot of times the shortstop will come over to cover. Instead, it was Nolan, the second baseman, and he threw a fastball by him.
Yeah, coverage is with the second baseman, but I want you to look at where Nolan is when he wants to receive this ball. He's on the shortstop side. Watch his left foot. Kumar throws it to the inside part. Instead, the ball goes to the outside part. Nolan just pretty much went away from where the throw was supposed to be. Obviously, yes, Kumar did not throw it over the bag where it's where the second baseman wants it. Now you have runners at first and third. Again, first inning errors by Vanderbilt, opening the door for Mississippi State.
That's just a massive number, 11 errors here in Omaha. Vanderbilt in the championship game, and they have not played nearly as well as they had during the regular season. Now Luke Hancock, runners at first and third. James has great speed at first. He's not going, and the first pitch is called the ball. Big time opportunity here for Mississippi State to get on the board in the first.
Just look at the pitches, just count the pitches, how many he has to throw after this error. That adds on advantage Mississippi State right now.
Hancock, 10 homers, 61 RBIs. That's in there for a strike. Perfect night for baseball here in Omaha, and the wind is down. Sun is out. And the 1-1 to Hancock. He gets that call, so the inside part of the plate for Perry Costello is a strike so far.
And I always look to see where the umpire is set up. He's set up right on the inside part. There's no way he should be missing that pitch. That's not a guess. His eyes are right above the corner of the plate.
.23 stolen bases for Cameron James. 6'2", 192 out of South Haven, Mississippi. Hancock has a terrific eye at the plate, too. That one's in the dirt, and it's blocked. Nice job by C.J. Rodriguez. Hancock's like the Max Muncy of college baseball. He's got 47 walks and 17 strikeouts. 30 more walks than strikeouts.
That's pretty impressive, and they know that he's going to put the ball in play. Again, pressure on the defense.
So both of the umpires at third base and home plate came out behind plate to let Kumal Rocker know that he's been warned about a pitch clock violation. 20 seconds on the pitch clock from when the pitcher gets it to when he throws it. And a big one here early, 2-2, and this one blooped into right field. Thomas has come in, and he will make the play. Tagging is Jordan, and he's in. 1-0 State. An unearned run, but they grab the lead first.
I'll tell you this is the most consistent guy at the plate when you have a runner at third base with less than 2 outs, because the trust of knowing that more often than not he will put that ball in play. This time hitting it to the outfield, good speed. Rowdy Jordan scoring right there, taking advantage, another run with the error from Vanderbilt.
Mississippi State has played Vanderbilt. You see it 6 times. They've scored in the first inning in each game. It certainly feels like an opportunity now with 2 outs to get James in motion at some point. This is the catcher, Logan Tanner, 285, 14 homers, 51 runs batted in. Strike one. A lot of pitchers would be rattled by their own miscue, and this is probably not one of them. Rocker's heartbeat, as you heard Corbin say before the game, as steady as anybody's. And now ahead 0-2.
Cutter there. It's been the addition for Rocker this year, is to add that cutter, 87, 88 miles an hour. It's a little flatter, doesn't have the depth, but just trying to get it off the barrel. He does get some swing and miss on it, like he did right there to Tanner.
He was walked 3 times in game 2. James not going, and he fouls that straight back. There's Tracy and Lalitha Rocker, Kumar's parents. Obviously, they were very open to Kumar making his own decision about his athletic career. Tracy with his Outland Trophy and Marty Trophy when he played college football. Easy path to take, but he opted to play baseball, and that's worked out incredibly well. Tracy didn't know a whole heck of a lot about baseball. Mom did.
They both know a lot now.
They sure do. Oh, 0-2. He struck out Tanner Allen. Now it's Logan Tanner. Rocker's last appearance was against NC State. That was on Friday. He threw 111 pitches. The NC State story, a big story, obviously, in Omaha in the College World Series. They started out 2-0 and then had a COVID outbreak on the team. 8 positive tests, and they were sent home. Vanderbilt was supposed to play them in a must-win game. And by virtue of a no contest being declared, the Wolfpack, who you could argue were playing the best baseball of any team, went home. Vanderbilt moved into the College World Series finals.
Well, given it, even though it's normal major league rest, 4 days is shorter than you usually see in a college regular season. You would think that Mississippi State's going to try to push that pitch count up as much as they can. Rocker now nearing 20 pitches here in the first.
A lot was made about the one-sided score last night, and with all due respect to the pitchers that Vanderbilt used, they weren't their best bullpen arms once it got out of control. Yeah. So you're going to see more walks and likely more hits. Both bullpens are fully rested.
In a loss like that, it's a lot easier to flush away than a tight scoring game, emotional game. No one likes to lose, but if you are in a situation like this, still have all your premium arms from both teams.
The only premium arm not available was that guy right there. That's Jack Leiter. He was the starter and pitched phenomenal in game 1. 2-2 to Tanner, putting up a good fight against Rocker. Now 3 balls, 2 strikes. Listen to the crowd. This is supposed to be a neutral site. Got him there. Was that a changeup? Little slider, 84 miles an hour. Dad sits, mom stands. 1 error, 1 run. Vanderbilt to the plate. Great first 3 seasons in Starkville for that guy, Chris Lemonis. 113 and 39. His former college teammate Dan McDonald, who of course heads up Louisville, was one of the guys instrumental in introducing Lemonis to the athletic director at Mississippi State. And that was a good hire, huh?
That one's worked out okay so far.
For everybody involved. Terrific recruiter. In fact, his real recruiting classes haven't yet impacted this program. Will Bednar's on the mound out of Valencia, Pennsylvania. Just west of Pittsburgh. The sophomore, 6'2", 235. And you talked about Rocker on 4 days rest, even shorter for Bednar.
Yeah, I tell you what, he has been at his best here, though. And I think the question is, going on 3 days rest, I don't think the stuff will be any different from Bednar. I think it's when the stuff starts to run out, maybe will be a little bit different. Can they lay off the fastball? That's a big thing with Bednar. Many of his strikeouts come with the elevated fastball. Vanderbilt is well aware of what he'll be trying to do to him.
All right, guys, our batting order brought to you by Capital One. Bradfield Jr. will be the leadoff guy like always, but they've changed things around. Javier Vaz has moved up. He'll be in the 2 spot, lefty with some speed. Keegan Parker Nolan in the cleanup spot. Spencer Jones, the DH, left-handed hitter. CJ Rodriguez, the catcher, had a home run in game 2. Carter Young, who had been a top of the order guy, moves down. Bednar will try to throw that fastball up, breaking pitch down, and that one's 2 up at 91. Bradfield is 100 watts. He is electricity when he's on. He's got 47 stolen bases. And having an unbelievable year. The SEC Freshman of the Year, 2-0. Both Bradfield and Vaz will put pressure on a defense.
Really surprised right there. He swung at the 2-0 pitch. It was a long inning for Rocker. You want to get on base. That would have probably been ball 3. Oh, yeah. Don't throw it. Don't throw it.
Attaboy.
Nasty slider. He swings and he is tagged out by Logan Tanner. Good call, Eddie. He brought that pitcher right back into it on a 2-0 swing that was probably ball 3.
He did, and then gave him that confidence and goes right to that nasty slider after fouling off the 2-1 pitch. See him drop down just a little bit. They could probably hit his back foot as well.
Yeah, that is the definition of a back foot slider right there. A slider that he swings and misses over the top of, and it hit Bradfield's back foot.
So Bednar starts out doing what he's done all College World Series, strikeouts. His last 2 games, both against Texas, went 6 1/3, went 6 in the other one, 7 Ks and 15, 22 strikeouts.
So far, both hitters starting off 2-0. Javier Vaz, his type of game is to take right here 2-0.
Three balls and no strikes. The Vaz family made a lot about the junior college route taken by some of the key players for Mississippi State. Vaz is a junior college guy too. And that's strike number 1.
His dad played in this tournament. Dad Roberto Vaz back in '97. Alabama ended up playing for the national title this year against LSU. LSU was nice enough to send us home.
3-2. And Vaz's story just within the season is fairly incredible. He started one game during the regular season, gets inserted into the lineup.
Hadn't come out since.
In the postseason, and he hasn't not only come out, he's moved up in the batting order to a critical 2 spot. That's off, and Vaz will take the walk.
He's got to keep an eye on Vaz. He'll be taking a big lead at first base. Just like Enrique Bradfield Jr., they both take aggressive leads. Keegan, a really good fastball hitter.
And Logan Tanner, a really good catcher with regards to his ability to throw guys out behind the plate. So game on now with Keegan up. Slider, strike number 1.
Good. Hancock going to one knee right there just to make sure that that ball doesn't go down the right field line.
Logan Tanner has thrown out 11 would-be base steals. Vaz 5 on the season. That's off the plate. Tanner appeals to first, no swing. Just joining us, Mississippi State, top of the first. Benefits on a throwing error from Kumar Rocker. Trying to get a double play, threw it into center field. That allowed Rowdy Jordan to go down to third base. He scored on a sacrifice fly, and it's 1-0 as we play the bottom of the first. Winner take all, game 3. The College World Series Finals. Keegan, a .349 hitter, 15 homers, 57 runs batted in. inside, and 3 balls and a strike. The 6 hits that Dominic Keegan has at the College World Series are the most by a Vanderbilt player. And a big pitch here, 3-1.
With Vaz in motion here, 3-2-1 out. You got Keegan up. Vaz, how about Vaz coming into the College World Series? Had 1 stolen base the entire season. 4 for 4 here.
Vanderbilt hitting 198 as a team here in Omaha. He goes, that's high, and there'll be 2 on with 1 out. Back-to-back walks. Not something you're used to seeing from Bednar.
Not at all, but respecting the ability of Keegan to hit the fastball. He fouled the 3-1 pitch up in the zone. He had 2 ways to go. A little bit higher to see if Keegan chased, or try to freeze him with the slider, and he missed.
Parker Nolan now 2 Commodores aboard. He's the cleanup hitter. 43 runs batted in on the season. First pitch, pulled it inside. 1 ball, no strikes. In that game against Texas, the leadoff hitter Mike Antico popped up. After that, Bednar struck out 7 in a row on his way to 15 in the game.
Put the little bit down and away, but so far Perry Costello has been
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good right there.
That was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Part of it's where Perry stands. I mean, he is so far to the first base side. A pitch outside is so far away from him. Two balls and a strike to Nolan. Second baseman out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Farragut High School. Bounced around the infield for Tim Corbin. Got a spot at second. Vanderbilt trying to answer here in the bottom of the first. Three balls and a strike. It struggles for Bednar early.
Velocity is down a tick. Fastball control is definitely down a few ticks. Falling behind every hitter so far today.
Nolan is a .234 batting average with runners in scoring position. Should get a pitch to hit here. And he did. 3-2.
He was late on that one. 3-1 late. We'll repeat again. Just don't throw it down. It has to be at that level or higher.
Incredible atmosphere at TD Ameritrade, and we're just underway. 3-2 on the way, and he stays alive. Baz at second, Keegan at first. 3-2.
Little observation right now with Bednar on the mound. He's actually just given Vaz a 1 look, and as soon as he turns his head, he's gone home every single time. He's got to mix that in. It's one thing that Commodores are doing right now from the bench. Enrique Bradfield Jr. looking at that, just the tendencies. He's got to mix up the looks and the times. There it is.
3-2 on the ground, a short fielded Forsythe. DeBrule double play, and that's the effectiveness of the Dogs defense. They've been good all World Series long. Bednar out of it.
When you look at our fan base, it's a tradition of baseball.
The fan base is incredible. They make you feel like $1 million every day.
I think just about the whole state of Mississippi is either just now getting here or on the way up here right now.
Ability to win it all is something I think everybody, is on their edge of their seats about.
This is probably the biggest moment in Mississippi State sports history. We've never won a title or anything, and we all know that, but we're embracing that. Why not us be the first ones to do it?
It very well could be. And another good defensive play by the Dogs defense. Vanderbilt 11 errors in the College World Series, including one tonight. Mississippi State 2. That ball was hit really hard, and it was fielded cleanly. Dak Prescott, who was here last night, back again. Story came out today. He had given the Mississippi State entire team new Beats headphones. Sharing the sugar with all the folks. 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Of course, he played at Mississippi State and put up some huge numbers. Now healthy and back for the Cowboys, promising big things this season. Guys play college baseball, get any items like Beats from former players?
Did that ever exist?
I think we had to win 2 out of 3 just to get a jacket. Pretty simple goals.
Scotty DeBrule leads things off here for State. Top of the 2nd. And this one is towards the seats and will get there. And it is a sun-bathed left side here at TD Ameritrade. We played the College World Series in Omaha since 1950. And we've been down here in downtown since 2011 at this ballpark. Beautiful ballpark, tons of foul territory. Used to be all on dirt in a sense when the ball would never leave the park. That's been different this year. Three balls, 2 strikes. Vanderbilt, the home team in this game 3 based on their higher seeding. That misses. Leadoff walk for Scotty DeBrule.
A little bit more pressure on the Vanderbilt defense. You got a really fast runner in Braylon Skinner, who is getting his first start of the College World Series, and they might even try to play a little small ball here. So you have to defend the bunt. Corners will be in.
This is away again, and it's 1-0. Braylon Skinner came on as a pinch runner in that great game against Texas. It was the JUCO players, Skinner and Tanner Leggett. Leggett with an RBI game-winning single, the walk-off for State. Brad Cumbas hit by a pitch last night, the regular left fielder, and still banged up a little today. 2 balls, no strikes. There's Cumbas, and he is available.
That hit him square.
Sure did.
As square as you can get hit. This was the hit by pitch of Cumbas yesterday. Starts those hands and right at the last minute tries to pull him back, but hits him right on the top and above in the wrist.
Let's not forget his first at bat. He got hit in the right shoulder also on a foul tip. He's all bruised up.
Rocker back-to-back walks to start this inning. Skinner aboard. After the last half inning, saw the pitching coach for Vanderbilt talking to the umpires about the pitch clock conversation. It was a fairly animated conversation, and you wonder, as Brownie comes out to talk with him, if there's something kind of planted in the head of Rocker with regards to pace.
Well, I'll tell you this, Vanderbilt has given no reason at all for the fans to sit down. First inning error, then they end up scoring because of that errant throw, and then now with the 2 walks in the top half of the second inning, first 2 guys on, again, people are like reluctant to sit.
State is not a team that has bunted much at all this year. Just 13 sack bunts coming in, and Kellum Clark doesn't have any. So in a situation like this, I would be more surprised if he bunts than if he doesn't bunt. And take the chance the freshman can run into one here.
Well, Vanderbilt's playing the bunt defense right now, and I'm surprised. I'm with you on this.
Clark popped a big home run earlier in the College World Series. 2 on, nobody out, up 1-zip, and he goes back to the slider and gets the call, strike 1.
Well, it's already proven so far in this College World Series that Kellum Clark can catch up to a fastball. Great bat speed. They've been throwing a lot of off-speed pitches to him so far in the CWS.
Oh, 1. So the 2 aces of their respective staffs not sharp early in this one. An error by Rocker, and now in this inning 2 walks. Bednar, the double play, got him out of that inning in the first. Perry Costello,
that ball was down,
and he's going to get Kellum Clark to come on back in here.
It was close right there. I'm a Mississippi State fan. I'd be upset at it, and that's a big time game change call there from 3-1 now 2-2.
Slow roll to first. Keegan will take it himself and win the race barely, but like a bunt, the runners move up 90 feet. Now second and third, 1 out.
You'll take that if you're State right there. Change up from Rocker. We haven't seen too many of those right there, but gets freshman Kellum Clark out in front. Slow roller. Keegan takes it himself, but the runners move up 90 feet.
And we're at the number 9 spot in the order for Lane Forsyth. And what a night he had last night. 3 hits in game 2, a couple of RBIs. Freshman out of Humboldt, Tennessee. Big spot here. On the ground, and it's fielded by the shortstop. He waits, throws, and the out is recorded, but in from third comes DeBrule. Carter Young fielded it. He had no play at the plate. It's 2-0 State.
In at the corners, back in the middle right there. Forsyth takes advantage of it. First pitch slider, gets enough of it on a ground ball up the middle that DeBrule can score easily. Each of the leadoff hitters for State has reached in the first 2 innings. Each have come around to score.
And now Rowdy Jordan, who got things off to a great start with a hard hit single on the first pitch of the game. This time he looks at one for a called strike.
One changeup on him.
A lot of times you'll see the home plate umpire call the pitch verbally, and the batter won't be surprised by it. In the case of Costello, he doesn't say anything until he makes the call for everyone. So a lot of times these State hitters, in particular early, have been as surprised as maybe folks watching at home. It's a bit of a delayed reaction.
They can't give that a violation. They cannot do that.
He was standing out of the box.
Not only that, it took, yeah. You got Rowdy. There was 6 seconds left when he was getting into the box, and now they just penalized Kumar Rocker for that one.
Yeah, and that's what Corbs is going to come out and say right now. He wasn't even in the box.
Yeah, so they add a ball to the count now. And that second violation may soon be coming to a major league park near you. 1 and 2 in the dirt.
Please don't.
Yeah.
No. Hope this is the last year that we see it in college baseball.
So the clock already started. He's not even close to being in the box.
Well, they did reset the clock. You're right. It had started. They reset it.
And that did not happen on the previous pitch.
Who knew we'd be talking about a pitch clock violation as a big story in Game 3 of the College World Series. 3 and 2, and the most dangerous hitter on the state team is on deck. Tanner Allen. He struck out looking his first time up.
Five seconds.
Jordan and Allen, like so many of these kids that grow up in the South, their dream was to play college ball together, play at a place like State. And Rowdy into left field, and that's down. What a night for Rowdy Jordan. He'll plate Skinner. He'll head into second, and he's saving his best for the biggest. 2 for 2. It's 3-0 Mississippi State.
Fellas, that's a heck of a piece of hitting right there. I want you to look at where this pitch is. Down and away. Protecting the plate. He has 2 strikes. He's like, not Perry Costello. You're not going to make the call on me. I'll go down the line. I'll drive in the runner at second. And I'll switch positions with him. Javier Vaz, no chance to make the play. Brings it in as quickly as possible. Now, State up 3-0 in the top of the second with 2 outs.
Ooh, they could not have asked for a better start. Rowdy Jordan's 2 for 2. Here comes Tanner Allen. And this one rolled over to second, gets the charity hop, and he is retired. But 2 more runs come in for the Diamond Dogs. We're going to the bottom of the second. It's Mississippi State 3, Vanderbilt 0. Pair of SEC teams battling it out here on TD Ameritrade's field, and it's State 3, Vanderbilt 0. Again, Mississippi State has never won a College World Series title. And Rowdy Jordan off to a terrific start, single and a double. He's got a couple of RBIs and has scored a run. Now Will Bednar pitches from the vantage point of a 3-run lead. So he'll try to pour in strikes, and he does at 92. Look at Spencer Jones, the DH, C.J. Rodriguez, then Carter Young. Jones had a couple of arm injuries since he showed up on campus. That's inside. He was a great two-way player, an All-American in high school. He had Tommy John surgery, also broke a bone in his elbow. So he's become a hitter, at least now. And inserted into the lineup for this one, starting lineup. .6'7" tall at the plate. Takes a big cut at that and misses 2 and 2.
To me, when you see 6'7" and you combine it with a fastball that Bednar has, I wouldn't throw him anything else. I'm going to take the fastball and see if he can get extended and keep that thing fair. And I prefer to live on the inner part of the plate. It's just tougher for bigger guys to get their hands inside it.
You can go back a ways for the research to find the last team to overcome a 3-run deficit in the championship game. 2000, LSU trailed Stanford 5-2 after 7 innings, and then they won it 6-5.
Work here by Jones. First start of this College World Series, came in as a pinch hitter. Fouled off a few tough fastballs. That time the slider that was coming in on his hands.
Corbin talks about Vaz and Jones as two guys who bought into the team first program because of the injuries and Vaz not playing. Their attitudes throughout the entire season were such, and he said it's because they understand the team role. Understanding a team role here at Vanderbilt is the most important thing these guys can do, because they get playing time. If you don't know what a team role is, you'll never get on the field. And he is just pounding foul ball after foul ball.
Ouch.
Here's the next one as he will throw pitch 37. How about Spencer Jones?
Yeah, that was a quality at bat right there. And remember yesterday when he came in to pinch hit, just seemed like Coach Corbin knew that he was going to be his guy, and he wanted to give him a couple looks.
CJ Rodriguez hit a home run last night. And for Bednar, he has issued now more walks to the first 6 Vandy hitters than he did in his first 2 College World Series starts. Underneath it popped up. Cameron James never saw it. Here comes the left fielder, Hard Skinner. And it's the shortstop who ends up with it, Forsythe. Cameron James never saw it, and Skinner didn't pick it up either, but Forsythe did.
I've been saying it all along. Yes, you're using the sunglasses, but with these shadows here right now, it is very difficult to see the ball off the bat. Then you have to pick it up, and now you have the sun in the way. Both Skinner and James did not get able to see the baseball, and because of that, give a lot of credit to Forsythe at short.
Forsythe just bailed him out because he was the only guy in the field that had any chance to make that play.
We've had rain delays the last 2 nights. Obviously not the case here. Here's Carter Young. Sweeping slider in there for strike number 1. Spoke to Chris Lemonis earlier today. The game plan for Bednar is ideally 4 innings, maybe 3, depending on how he's feeling. He's ahead 0-2. The bullpen did a terrific job last night for Mississippi State, in particular one guy. And there he is. Preston Johnson was outstanding.
And funny.
And humorous. He's right. Preston Johnson gave up a moonshot home run to right, and off the bat he turned around and waved goodbye to it.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
No. It's a tremendous moment.
The only run he gave up, he only gave up 2 hits, 74 pitches in 5 innings, punched out 7, and made us all smile.
Runner goes Jones. That's outside, and a stolen base for Spencer Jones.
I'll get that for you, big man. You're fine.
So here's a pitcher giving up a moonshot and wishing it well. Watch 35 on the mound. Just focus on him.
Bye-bye.
Yes.
Yep. Sign me up for more of Preston Johnson. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Carter Young's had some big-time games. He's got 16 homers, 52 runs batted in, and until tonight had been batting up near the top of the order. Good pitch right on the fist, strike 3. Second strikeout for Will Bednar.
Well, he's struggled in a major way so far in this College World Series. Tries to bring the hands in, but look at where it is pitched, elevated right there. It's got a major hole in it, and I'm telling you right now, they have exploited that the entire College World Series.
So you go from Carter Young to Isaiah Thomas in the 8th spot. Think about Carter Young, Isaiah Thomas, and Jason Gonzalez. 16 homers, 13 homers, and 9. Those are your 7, 8, 9 hitters. Bednar's bread and butter so far tonight's been the fastball. He's landed 15 of 26 for strikes. The slider, 5 of 13. There's a good fastball, 93.
How about this? You already have 46 pitches here for Bednar. Kumar's also at 46. High pitch count. This is going to become a bullpen game. It stays this way maybe in the 4th or 5th inning.
I think he kind of felt like, too, it was going to be. I mean, both these guys on short rest.
Pretty good spot.
And the top bullpen guys are ready to go for Vandy. I mean, you got Maldonado and Murphy. You would think you could stretch both of them out. Maldonado was stretched out a little bit a few days ago. Murphy is not one. Fisher still available to come in and face lefties. For Mississippi State, I think the biggest question is how long does that guy go? How long does Sims go, and when do you bring him in?
Because Brandon Smith and Cade Smith have been terrific as well out of the state bullpen. 1 and 2. Yes, he did. That's a punch out, and that's back-to-back strikeouts for Bednar, and this place is Bedlam. 3-0 State, 3rd inning coming up at the College World Series. Welcome back to the College World Series. State 1 win away from its first NCAA team championship. They were here and swept by UCLA in 13. And the women's basketball team was beaten by South Carolina, so disappointment on that level. And they were beaten by Notre Dame, and the great shot from the corner as the Irish were seemingly a team of destiny. That dude doesn't know all about defeat. He's here to see a title tonight for the maroon and white. 7th different SEC school to win a national championship this academic year will occur tonight. Alabama won in football, Arkansas track and field, Florida tennis, Kentucky women's volleyball and rifle. That's on the corner for a strike. LSU won the men's outdoor track and field, and Ole Miss won in women's golf. This will be the 7th SEC team title. And a good start for Rocker as Cameron James behind 1 and 2.
What impresses me so much about that breaking ball from Rocker is he can add and subtract velocity. I mean, almost 10 miles an hour. That was 76. We've seen some 83, 84 that have good depth. He can show you 88-mile-an-hour cutter. That one at 78.
Right center, Bradfield going over. Oh, nice running catch. Does he cover ground?
We've talked about it up here, guys, and our vantage point is so different because you see the entire field. And off the bat, that ball's in the gap.
Absolutely.
But Bradfield, we talk about his ability to steal bases, but, man, he is a plus defender already out in center field.
I mean, he looks like a gazelle running out there in center field, just making it look easy. He appreciates it.
One of his youth teams was coached by a guy named Coach Avon, who played with Kenny Lofton in the Indians organization. And even as a little kid, he started to see some of the similarities. I think Tony Kemp's name came up from Tim Corbin about Bradfield and his comps. That's an outfield that can track some balls down now. Bradfield in center. We saw Isaiah Thomas make an unbelievable catch in foul territory, and Vaz can go get the baseball.
I just think it's interesting. They give him number 51, and it's Coach Corbin, right, that assigns the numbers. And we're thinking, okay, Willie McGee, Ichiro, maybe. It's like, he said no. J.J. Bleday wore number 51 here in Vanderbilt. That's why he gets the number.
Pretty high compliment coming in.
Like to see J.J. Bleday at a Major League ballpark near you soon. 2-2, another one to Bradfield. He stood still for a second, read it, and came on in. 2 down.
Carl, before the game, I had an emotional conversation with Chris Lemonis. He started getting choked up, and he said, Chris, I've actually been on the verge of tears all day, so much so that I can't really speak to the team very long. So just thinking everything this team has been through, how hard they fought to get here, from not having a season last year, having just an unusual season with COVID protocols. And then on top of that, he wishes so much that his father could be here. He's in a nursing home, health-wise, unable to travel. His dad was a Mississippi State alum. He was able to come in 2019, so wishing that Pops could be here to see this run as well.
Well, we know you're out there, we know you're watching, and we certainly wish you and your son the best of luck, as this one is popped up to right field. Isaiah Thomas coming in, and 3 quickies. Lemonis grew up in Starkville, and now he's trying to get them a championship. What a year it has been. Hard to believe we would be here with a full house. When this whole thing started, there were all sorts of questions, and they still remain to some extent, but we got a packed house and a College World Series final on the line. The rollover, and quickly thrown out at first is Jason Gonzalez.
That's a gift right there, because for Bednar, I mean, pitch count climbing, and now 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 3rd inning, because it feels like 75 to 85 pitches, 90 maybe tops is what you're going to see from Bednar. 48 in the first 2 innings, took 1 pitch to get his first here in the 3rd.
Yeah, Rocker too similarly needed something like that. He got a 1-2-3 inning. And the biggest battle for Lemonis may be getting the ball away from Bednar if he keeps putting zeros on the board. Fine line college coaches got to straddle between winning games as well as the interest of the pitcher and his future. And that's a real thing.
Yeah, I mean, especially with these 2 guys, we get the draft in a few weeks, and we're going to be saying both their names, and we only have the 1st round. So there's a lot to think of, and listen, coming back on 3 days rest, coming back on 4 days rest. Kumar's going to have to come back on 4 days rest here in a year and a half or so. Yep. I mean, that's going to be a regularity, and 3 days rest when Bednar really hasn't been stressed as far as short rest the entire season. Seems just fine.
He's got 3 strikeouts, and the next one to Bradfield. This one on the ground. This is a foot race. Bradfield going. The throw, and boy, what a job by Scotty DeBrule. He threw it before Hancock was ready, and they're able to get the speedy Bradfield.
Give a lot of credit to Luke Hancock right here in the communication that he and DeBrule had. He sees it, recognizes it, then he gets to the bag and he sees his pitcher coming in, calls him off, and immediately makes the play. DeBrule just the left side, the right side of the infield has played magnificently so far in this College World Series when it comes to communication.
Scotty DeBrule had to throw that ball before Hancock was looking. And that's not exactly a comfortable feeling for a second baseman. Watch this. When he lets it go, Hancock's not there yet. The ball is in the air. He throws it in the spot to where Hancock spins, catches, just beats Bradfield right there. But for DeBrule, if he waits until he sees Hancock's eyes, Bradfield's safe. How about this inning? How about this inning, Will Bednar? Needed a quick one. Got a quick one. 48 pitches in the first 2 innings and 1-2-3 here in the 3rd. State leads it. 3 in the books. 3-0.
Welcome back, everyone, to Omaha, Nebraska. College World Series here. Major League Baseball Thursday. First of a 4-game set. Giants, Diamondbacks, San Francisco. Best record in baseball. Johnny Cueto on the mound as they go for their 51st win. A month to go before the trade deadline. Thursday, 10 Eastern, ESPN, the ESPN app. One app, one tap. You can watch anywhere. Giants tied for the Major League lead, 116 home runs.
Sure both of you guys had the Giants for best record in baseball as we get to the All-Star break.
Not a fact.
From the get-go, I did not.
They're in it now to win it. Here's Scotty DeBrule, the second baseman, and he rolls one past Rocker. Tough play. That's another tough play. Thought maybe Parker Nolan would go with the backhand, but the glaring difference between Vanderbilt's defense and Mississippi State's has shown itself here.
Giving away outs again. This has been the biggest difference in the College World Series for Vanderbilt, and why they are in this position right now, down 3-0. The way they lost the game yesterday, also not being able to make plays in the game they lost previously to get to the finals. Again, Vanderbilt has not been able to make the average play. Mississippi State has.
Strike one to Braylon Skinner. Yeah, the 6-4-3 double play early from Mississippi State was terrific, and of course the DeBrule play the last half. But 12 errors in this College World Series versus no errors.
I mean, guys, think about this. Coming into this game, Vanderbilt as a team in the College World Series was hitting under 200.
Yep.
And at that time had made 10 errors. They've now made 12. If you heard both of them, either one of those numbers, you wouldn't think that that team is one win away from winning a College World Series. But here they are.
But here in the fourth, down 3-0, and wow, off speed, Skinner ahead of it. Plays like that last night when Tanner Allen was on. Every time it got away from a catcher, he was sprinting down to second base, and they put pressure on Vanderbilt all night long. They brought to a 13-2 win in game 2. They lost 8-2 in game 1. 2-2 to Skinner. Will not offer 3 balls, 2 strikes. So the night for Kumar Rocker entering in elimination games, which this obviously is. He was 3-0 with 21 1/3 innings. He had struck out 41, walked 5, and given up 2 runs. Tonight, in 3 innings, he's given up 3 runs. And he has as many walks, too, as he does strikeouts. That's a good pitch there, and he's gone.
Like Skinner's looking for something off speed right here, looking for the slider, and Kumar just locks him up with a fastball. I'd like to see what his fastball plays like up in the zone. We don't see it very much there. My assumption is the metrics say that it really doesn't, but he does not climb the ladder much with that fastball. And when you pair it with the slider, I would just think that you would get more swing and misses up and out of the zone. Change up right there.
And against Arizona in the first game of the College World Series, Arizona sat on off speed. They forced Kumar Rocker up. They said, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to do it with the fastball because we're sitting soft.
Ahead of Kellen Clark, 0-2. There is no relation between that guy, Kellen Clark, and the former great Will Clark. He strikes out, back-to-back punch-outs for Rocker. He's now got 4.
All off speed. Change up, then he comes back with a slider that Kellen Clark swings right over the top.
That's some tight spin right there. See that red dot all the way.
Want to know to Lane Forsythe, the shortstop, been so steady in the field. They believe this guy's going to be a star. We've certainly seen his defense. That catch he made in the sun, underappreciated, given his left fielder and third baseman never saw it.
High strike.
DeBrule is at first. He's got 6 stolen bases, 2 outs here. Ouch.
Yeah, let me walk.
Don't start the clock, Barry. You're giving you some time here.
All right, here we go.
Looking to make it 3 in a row. 1 and 2, and he will. That ball in dirt. There is the throw down. So he strikes out 3 in a row. He's got 5. Pitching starting to settle in here at the World Series.
This is the 7th game right here for Mississippi State. So far, no errors in this College World Series. Why? Because they've been able to execute. See the infield, the ground balls again. Communication is key. This one just happened last inning. DeBrule making an excellent play, excellent throw. And again, it's not just the position players, it's the pitchers also covering ground, communication, moving those feet. Mississippi State right now up 3-0 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Their defense has been spectacular so far here in Omaha.
Feeling great about themselves. Bednar coming off the field, getting everybody rolling. So in the bottom of the 4th, Vanderbilt has not got a hit in this game. Two balls, no strikes. Quick check of the Mississippi State bullpen, and some significant figures have moved on out there. That's in there. 2 balls and a strike. Like that guy. That's Landon Sims. He has been to Mississippi State what Kevin Kopps was for his team. This is a slow roller, really tough play. Charged, and that's how they are winning a College World Series title.
Think about the plays, the last 3 plays. They're all a half step or less that Vanderbilt's getting thrown out. It was the ground ball to the right side. DeBrule makes the play, then the ground ball that Bednar ends up covering himself, and now Forsythe comes in and has to throw right off that right foot.
That play is even harder because you have all 3 infields on the left side of the infield. That's one thing that they have worked on all season long. They're aggressive with their shifts. They've done it against Keegan the entire time, and they do it well again.
Guys, you're moving into legend stuff, though, with regards to Bednar, too.
Yeah.
2-0. Come to the College World Series for a team that's never won it, and you lay a 15 strikeout performance on Texas. And so far here, so solid. 2-0 to Parker Noland. 2-1. Three balls and a strike.
I don't think he's thrown a pitch that would have been called for a strike yet in this at bat, but it's that one that they just can't lay off. 2-0 fastball, Nolan swings through. 3-1 fastball, Nolan swings through. Bednar now a strike away from another punch out.
He's got 3 of those.
Good spoil.
And that's out of play. You can go back to the first batter of the game when Bednar was facing Enrique Bradfield, and it was a 2-0 count. State was already up 1-0, and Bradfield expanded the zone on a pitch which was very likely going to be called ball 3.
Well, even if it would have been a strike, you have to take there.
That's an easy one for Bednar, and he will flip it to first. Friday, the quarterfinals of the Euros roll on. 2 tremendous games. Noon Eastern Time, Switzerland surprise against Spain, and then 3 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN, Belgium will take on Italy. Games have been great. A lot of penalty shots to decide them. Both games on the ESPN app, one tap, so you can watch anywhere. Backbench Scotty, I heard you giggle there. You're starting to feel it. One app, one tap. I know you are. Staying loose is Rocker. Bednar, 1 ball, 1 strike. Last guy to throw or carry a no-hitter into the 5th inning in the title game. Kyle McCullough of Texas. That was against Florida in 05. Brandon MacArthur broke it up with a leadoff single in the 5th. That's a little low to a 6-7 hitter in Jones. He reached on a walk. Vanderbilt's had 3 base runners. They've all reached on walks. That's it. Jones got one to hit, and instead he rolls it right to the first baseman. Bednar, no hits. He's through 4, and he'll get them rolling again because here they come. 19th year for Tim Corbett at Vanderbilt. Mississippi State leading 3-zip. Coach, you've seen everything. You're watching Bednar tonight. What is the message to your team to try to crack this code?
Well, we're doing a pretty good job of getting them deeper into counts. We just haven't had the good contact yet. We had the 2 walks. We weren't able to do much with them, although the ball was hit hard by Parker, and their 2 walks scored. So, you know, we just got to keep working at it. It's going to be tough. We kind of know that going in, but I think we're equipped for that.
Of course, defense has been a part of the storyline today, and it has really this entire series. When you get this deep into a season, you've been a good defensive team the entire year. What do you say to your guys about it?
Well, just to stay with it. I mean, there's not much you can say in motion. I mean, when the game's going on, I mean, it's just a lot of encouragement right now, but they're feeling it. I mean, you know, they tighten up a little bit on balls, and we just got to continue to play as well as we possibly can and just try to work through it.
Last check, it's a 9-inning game. Thanks, Coach. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
It's 3-zip. We go to the 5th. And Rocker to Rowdy Jordan starts him off with a changeup. That's called strike 1.
He's thrown more of those, and I know that there's a fair amount of left-handers in this Mississippi State lineup, but he's thrown more of those, more changeups tonight, Rocker has, than I think I've seen him throw in any start.
No balls, 2 strikes to Jordan, who's off to a phenomenal start here in his final game as a Mississippi State Bulldog. A single and a double RBI. Mom's been leading the cheers the entire season, in fact his entire career. And he's going to try to hustle this one out. That time a charge and a bobble, and it happened again. Rowdy Jordan was going to put pressure on Carter Young. It went in the glove, and unlike last night when it got stuck in the glove, this one popped out.
Yeah, this one pops up. It pops out of the glove. You see a little bit modified shift right here. This is a play Carter Young usually makes. Rowdy Jordan gets down the line quickly. He has to hurry. Most likely they'll still score this a single. You see on the transfer right there? He's not able to do it. Now you have another leadoff hitter on for Mississippi State.
Jordan credited with a hit, his 3rd of the night. Tanner Allen 0 for 2.
He's the only one that has hits in this game.
Yep, on either side.
Trade me.
So you guys played this game forever. When Corbs says that, yeah, you can feel it, they're a little tight. Do those things kind of spiral on you?
They can.
Defensively?
That's why I've always said I thought it was the most important inning in this game was the 1st inning. Keep them off the board.
Allen, that's into right field. That's a hit. Jordan steps to second and he'll put the brakes on there. Tanner Allen now picks up his first hit of the night.
Any surprise here that the two leaders of the team are the only ones with hits in this game? We're in the 5th inning.
No, I mean you got heart and soul of the offense standing on first and second base right now. And it just has been the entire year. They've been here before. They're not wowed by the environment, and they weren't when they were down 0-1. We heard Tanner Allen talk about it before game 2. We got nothing to lose at this point. They played loose yesterday. They have played loose again today.
Young and old cheering on State. Cameron James. And this one can get away from Vanderbilt. You know that Sims is out there in the bullpen. Bednar hasn't given up a hit yet. And nobody out here in the 5th. Right down the middle. 1-1.
Tell you this, they better be careful with these two runners on base. They played together for quite some time. They have their own little signals. Kumar's going to be throwing sliders here to James in this at bat. Anything in the dirt, they're going.
1 ball, 2 strikes. You saw McIlvain warming for Vanderbilt. Rocker's pitch count 82. James 12 homers, 61 runs batted in. He swings at 1 in the dirt and he is gone. Rocker picks up strikeout number 6.
The stuff of Rocker has gotten a little bit better as this game has gone on. Didn't have great control first few innings, ended up walking 2 in the second. Both of those came around to score, but he's found the slider. He's found the ability to land the fastball a little bit more coming into this inning. It set down 7 of the last 8 that he had faced, but then back-to-back singles got it started.
And now Luke Hancock, who is a terrific cleanup hitter because he's such a great contact hitter. Twice has put the ball in play, and he looks at strike number 1.
Well, you look at the two guys during the regular season that are on base. Jordan on base percentage coming into this game of .415. He's been on 3 times. Tanner Allen .457. You get that much congestion on the bases. Luke Hancock benefits from all of that with his ability to make contact.
Ooh, tough pitch. Hancock again. Can't reiterate the numbers. He's got 30 more walks than he does strikeouts this season. So he's a guy that you've got to give credit to for his eye and pitch recognition. He thought it was a ball. Perry Costello thought it was a strike. Up the middle, and it's through. Hancock on 0-2 delivery. Rowdy Jordan's in, and it is now 5-0 State. 4-0, sorry, 4-0 State. 0-2 single from Luke Hancock after he didn't agree with the second strike call.
Again, his first at-bat was a sac fly to drive one in. This time 0-2. Not a lot of head movement. Still just trying to hit it where it's pitched. Gets the RBI. Most importantly now, Tanner moves over to third.
The lineup construction terrific. When you have somebody in that spot, as you guys said, when Jordan and Allen are always on, James is a power guy, and Hancock is going to make contact. That's an 0-2 pitch he sends back up the middle. And it's getting louder here. Ball 1 to Logan Tanner, a strikeout and a pop out to right. Lands that pitch, 1 ball, 1 strike. It's Just like a slow drip here of Mississippi State runs. 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 more in the fifth, and their pitcher hasn't allowed a hit. Ahead of Logan Tanner, 1 and 2. The middle, Tanner delivers, and it's 5-0 State. Another 2-strike RBI.
What's the thing that Mississippi State does with 2 strikes?
Shorten up, put in play. Yeah.
Put it in play, they pound their chest. That's been their motto, that's been their belief. And tonight, and most likely their biggest game, they've come up big with 2 strikes, and that's going to be it probably for Rocker.
The end of an era here with Kamal Rocker coming off. State knocks him out of the game. He's frustrated. And he'll get a standing ovation from most of the first loss in his postseason career. 5-0 as we take a timeout.
Well, coming into this inning, Kamal Rocker giving up 2 hits, a single in the first, a double in the second. Well, there's a 3rd hit of the game. That was the 3rd hit of the game. There's a 4th hit of the game. So Rowdy Jordan, Tanner Allen started back-to-back singles, and the Hancock single scores a run. Logan Tanner single up the middle, chases Rocker. 4 hits in the inning. He's now given up 5 runs, leaves with runners on first and second. And he'll give way to Chris McElvain.
Logan Tanner has an RBI in 5 straight games now. And here comes the sophomore McElvain. This has been Vanderbilt at the World Series in a nutshell. The misplays in the field and the inability to produce at the plate. They haven't got a hit yet. They've committed 2 errors, and Rocker's out of the game. 3rd time through the order. And State has put up 4 hits in the inning. Scotty DeBrule, terrific play in the field defensively, walked and scored in the 2nd inning. Off the glove, and no advancement for a second, it looked like.
Tell you what,
would take advantage.
CJ Rodriguez is moving a lot more behind the plate than he ever has. Saw him going up and down right there, and then was not able to stick that 1-0 pitch.
For a strike for McElvain, it's 2 balls, 1 strike. '22nd appearance of the season for McElvain, a 5-1 record overall. He did start a game, a 3.71 ERA, 55 punchouts, 24 walks. A lot of play.
2-2.
Time to pound the chest. This is where they've done their damage now, shortening it up. 2-2 count here for Scotty.
Grad transfer out of Jacksonville, the active leader in hits in college baseball, put up spectacular numbers in Atlantic Sun. Three and two. Between last night's game and this start, State's outscored Vandy 18-2. And now the bases are loaded. How about this spot for Braylon Skinner, who was a hero the other night with his feet. He was on first, stole a huge base, Tanner Leggett, then knocked him in, a walk-off victory. And now inserted into the starting lineup because the left fielder got hit by a pitch last night. He's up with the bases loaded and 1 out. Fooled.
After that swing right there, I'm cheating slider.
There's a pretty decent chance you're going to get it again.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, give me one right there and just look slider. Throws your fastball heads off.
Mark Carson was his head baseball coach at Northwest Mississippi Community College, and he would tell these guys as he pounds his chest, and there were 3 of them, Skinner, Tanner Leggett, Parker Stinnett also was part of that program at one point. So you never know when an opportunity is going to come around. You get hardened at community college baseball level. 0-2 to Skinner. Swings and he misses at it. Given the arms Mississippi State has, it feels like 5-0. There's a chance. You start tacking on runs here, and it's a long, long road back for Vanderbilt.
I mean, here's the road right now for Mississippi State. You send Bednar out, see if he can get you 3 more outs, and then you send Sims in the ballgame. I don't think they will waste any time. I think the thought is if we can get 15 outs from that guy, and if we can get 12 from that guy, we'll take our chances.
Two balls, no strikes, nowhere to put the freshman designated hitter, Kellen Clark.
And boy, can he hit a fastball, and he's going to be sitting on one right now with the bases juiced.
Clark rocked one off of the right field fence last night, missed a homer by about 2 feet, ended up on second with a double. Gets the call on the inside.
You know what? That's a good take. He's looking for something middle away, something to get extended. That's what he's been really barreling him up. Gets a pitch in the middle inside part of the plate. Take it. Great take.
Filthy. Here's Dak Prescott. By the way, Sage Steele doing up close ESPN Plus just dropped. You get a chance to see the Dak Prescott interview. He's into the, maybe the Cowboys will do that on a big 3rd or 4th down play. 2-2 to Clark with the bases loaded. That's going to get out of play. Right down the middle, strike 3. Clark with his spat on his shoulder goes back. They'll leave him loaded, but they get a 5-0 lead, and they haven't given up a hit. We'll talk with Chris Lemonis when we come back. 5-0, no hits for Vanderbilt. Chris Lemonis joins us. In television parlance, when things go as scripted, we let everybody know in the break, as scripted. Has this gone according to whatever script you had coming into the game? And if not, what's different?
Well, it's probably a little better script because we were able to get Kumar out, you know, one of the better pitchers, you know, in college baseball. And we've been able to get some big hits off of him, and Will's pitching great. So I'm happy where we're at right now, but we got a long way to go. Coach, you've been emotional during this College World Series. You met with your team in short right field. What did you tell them? I can't say that on TV. I just told them, let's get the natty, and I'm proud of them. And you know, we've you know, it's our last ride together. So enjoy it.
How difficult will it be, by the way, to get the ball out of 24's hands? So you going to do that?
I don't know. That's why, you know, probably send it to Fox, let him get it out of there. You know, he's on a roll right now, and he's pitching great, and he's coming in talking trash to me. So I don't know. It may be a while.
All right, hang in there, Coach. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. He understands the significance of the moment. Got a 5-0 lead. They had a chance there with the bases loaded to really add on. And this first pitch swinging deep to left field. Skinner going back. Running catch. Braylon Skinner tracks it down. C.J. Rodriguez denied. That's the script from Mississippi State.
It's the second inning in a row that the first pitch of the inning got it out. And I mean, you appreciate the aggressiveness if you're Vanderbilt, but man, you also got to realize what's going on here. Bednar pitch count, you had it all the way up in the first two. And now you're making it a lot easier for him to stay out there.
This is a guy you bring in for defense usually in a game. And Skinner right there shined. No more sun to deal with. Great jump. Covered a lot of ground and was able to get that out.
You know, obviously, and we've talked about it, there's emotion in Chris Lemonis' voice right there, and understandably so. It's one of 3 power conference athletic departments that has never won a national championship.
Yep.
It is a place where baseball means more as much as it does any other place in the country at the collegiate level. And he understands that. He understands the fan base, and he understands the desire. I mean, just look around this place. That's all you got to do to figure out what it means in Starkville. And if they can win this thing, he'll be a hero in that city forever.
2 down, another pop out to Skinner.
3 days rest. That was the only question with Bednar is ultimately what does this stuff look like? The fastball's played out, man. It's exactly what we've seen before. It's more of a side-to-side breaking ball. That was it right there. And then when he's got to go get you, that one he wraps around Bradford. Will add a little bit more horizontal too. There's a lot more horizontal than there is vertical in the Bednar breaking ball. But what there's been is some quick outs here in the 5th inning. 2 fly ball outs. And I got to think if you come into this, and if you're Chris Lemonis and Scott Foxhall, you're saying, all right, if he gets his 15 outs, that's a ton. I mean, they were talking about maybe 3, maybe 4. He's a pitch away from getting them through 5 innings. And there's still nobody up and throwing.
Well, Coach even said it. This is even better than the script that they wanted.
Yeah.
They ended up getting Kumar Rocker out of the game, and the script right now of getting those 15, Vanderbilt might be seeing him come out to try to get even more than 15.
Yeah. And to your point about baseball and its significance in Mississippi State, football, while they've had decent years, you know, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn, LSU, those are your championship football programs for the most part. Mississippi State wants to be a champion in baseball. And they probably have a better chance in baseball. Would you say that's fair?
100%.
Than they do in any other
Absolutely.
sport?
In that league? Absolutely. I mean, think of the history. It's Palmero and Clark and Thigpen and
Brantley.
Jeff Brantley, who was sitting in this chair at one point. Ron Polk, who I saw in the lobby today. John Cohen, who got him within two wins of a national championship within the last decade. Now the AD.
Now these names that'll be on this field and in that dugout will be known for a long time. If they're able to shut this down.
2-2, Isaiah Thomas. Bednar. Got him swinging. He has not given up a hit through 5. What an effort from Will Bednar tonight on the biggest stage in college baseball. Lights out. Let's take a look at the current Capital One Cup standings. This year, Capital One doubled their student athletic scholarship fund donation to $800,000. It's split between the top 5 men's and women's athletic programs. Tonight's winner gets 60 points. Stanford men's and women's. Top 2. Right now the focus is all on that guy and this program. It's Mississippi State. It's got a 5-0 lead as we head to the 6th inning of Game 3, this College World Series final. Kumar Rocker out. McIlvain in. And it has been a very clean game for the Diamond Dogs. Forsythe, Rowdy Jordan, 3 hits. Tanner Allen due up. Isaiah Thomas, 1 quick out.
Well, if it was Scott Foxhall who had to go tell Bednar he was coming out, Bednar won that argument. He just goes up to him and he says, I'm going back in. Nope, I want the ball.
All right, so Kyle, Eddie, is, you know, at what point do you have to take the best interest of the pitcher? 1 inning?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's at, what is it, 80 pitches or something?
Yeah,
I mean,
he's at 80.
Yeah, I'd say 1 more, and he can argue all he wants, but that's it.
I'll tell you this. I'll take it this far. He allows a hit. I'll go get him, even if it's with 2 outs. I'll go get him, and I'll let the fans
him enjoy it.
Yeah, let the fans really cheer him on.
Rowdy Jordan's 3 for 3. And he's ahead 2-0. As comfortable as he's looked all College World Series. Between he and his buddy Tanner Allen setting records for a College World Series all-time hits. And I love the "why not us" comment we heard from Tanner Allen. At some point, it's going to happen. And this ball is put in the air. Javier Vaz is there, and there are 2 down. Celebrate the nation's birthday with Sunday Night Baseball in the Bronx. How about the Mets and the Yankees? Subway Series finale between the NL East leading Mets and a Yankee team that has been struggling. They will start it with baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown at 6, and then it's Mets Yankees at 7 on ESPN and the ESPN app. Subway Series to get it rolling on this July 4th weekend. 2 down for Tanner Allen. Sims is beginning to just get loose out there, not throwing, but starting to stretch. That's a fair ball. Tanner Allen to first. He hits second, and he is putting the brakes on. He was running full speed, but a double for Allen, his 2nd hit of the night.
This kid can hit. They keep this up also. He's going to have his own statue there at Mississippi State. Hard shot past Keegan. He's thinking 3 all the way, just checking out if Isaiah Thomas is going to get it back in a hurry. He does. Stays right there, and he lets his boys know he's on second with 2.
Cameron James with 2 down and Allen at second in a 5-0 ball game. Looks at strike 1. Any comparables of what a win like this would mean individually as well as collectively on the collegiate scene, sort of breaking a streak? And then the 2 guys that have been there for so long, and Bednar, who hasn't allowed a hit.
Just what it means to the university, to what it means to the fan base.
To the collective group, and then to the individuals and the impact it will have on them the rest of their lives.
I mean, for the collective group, when you show up at Mississippi State, you know you're going to a place that's got a ton of history. But the piece of history that it didn't have is winning it. And if you're the group that wins it, if you're the first group that wins it at that place, you're known forever.
Swing and a miss. When you think about other teams still have reunions when they come back here. There's a chance. It's too early, but there's a chance they're coming back forever. Talking about this group. Well, the program has been slowly building itself, brick by brick, if you will. And this season, the next win will be their 50th, and it will be for a World Series title. Well, Bednar back on the mound in the 6th inning. He is not allowed a hit. Think about the guys that he's competed against, and man, has he shined the brightest. Inside corner, strike 1. Jason Gonzalez, the 9-hitter. Bradfield, then Vaz. As Landon Sims starts to throw a ball against the wall. 2-1. That one is drifted to left, and now coming in is Skinner. He's calling off Rowdy Jordan, and there's one down. End of the bat looked like for Gonzalez.
It's 13 in a row for Bednar.
There just hasn't been a lot of hard contact either. C.J. Rodriguez hit one of the gap, but for the most part, other than the double play ball that Nolan hit, kind of quiet. There's Rafi Palmeiro. His team was never able to do it. Bradfield tried to bunt.
Yes, he did. Whoa. I thought he went for it.
I thought he did too. Yeah. I thought he just missed it. It was the late pullback. It's that late pullback after, just to see if you can steal a ball. Maybe not.
Ooh, maybe not.
That's out of play. Like the idea, actually. You haven't got a hit. This guy can fly. Having Bednar on the mound has not done anything for Vanderbilt. And as you guys have discussed, you know, maybe the hit is what gets him taken out of it. Nice play, James. Oh, have they been great defensively?
They have. I mean, it just seems with the body language and the actions of them playing that they want the ball hit to them. Each one of those infielders. They've been good to their left. They've been good to the right. Anticipation is key, and for Mississippi State, this defense has played big.
Javier Vaz. Ball one. All right, B Foxhall or B Lemonis.
That's it after this one.
Yeah, you can't convince him to get back out there. Can't let him convince you to allow him to get back out there. You just can't.
I feel like if you came into this, you're thinking Sims for 12 outs is like our ideal scenario. If we can get to that point, and he's one away from getting you Sims 9 outs.
Yep. Center field, Jordan. Yes, sir. Through 6 innings, Will Bednar has not allowed a hit. What may be the last pitch he throws here. It's 5-0, and he is a star.
Well, the argument continues. Will Bednar just told Foxhall, I'm good, I'm okay. Nope, I've never felt better. Nope. And then Foxhall went to Chris Lemonis, and the two of them just talked it over again. And that might be it for Bednar. Tried to argue his way, didn't want to hear it.
There's a great look from Bednar as he sat back on that bench. He kind of smiled like, I may have won this case, but there was that quick conversation between Foxhall and Lemonis in which Lemonis made a decision, and Foxhall didn't about face and went back to talk to Bednar.
Did you see Chris Button's face in the background? She looks like she was watching some kid get called to the principal's office right there. Just watching the entire thing.
I'll tell you this. I'm a parent. With what Lemonis is doing right there, if he's saying, no, I don't want to hear it, and I have a kid that has a future, that's awesome right there, because this means the world to the university. Absolutely. It means the world to, you know, to be able to get that first national championship. He's like, I don't want to hear it. That arm in his future is also important.
He has not allowed a hit. He has been fabulous through the College World Series. His stock has continued to rise with regards to the upcoming Major League Draft. This ball ripped to right. Thomas to his right. Hancock retired.
I don't think he's done. Well, I'm watching Landon Sims in the bullpen right now, and he's not even, we're not even on the dirt yet of the mound.
He's on it right now, but I'll tell you this. I'm Lemonis. I allow him to go back out there, warm up, and then take him out.
Well, I get the nostalgia of it, believe me. I think it's cool. I want Sims to start a clean inning.
He will.
Okay.
He will. You let him warm up, and then you take him out. It'll give him, Sims, plenty of time to get loose. And at the same time, you give the fans an opportunity that have traveled so far here on the road to be present for maybe and possibly something big for this university.
This ball is poked to left field off the bat of Logan Tanner. It's gone. Mississippi State adds another. And another step closer to a World Series championship. Tanner's 15th of the year, second hit of the night.
Tell you what, he used his legs to hit this ball out of there. He went down and got it. Say all you want. Watch the legs work here on this spin. Just goes down. Knee almost touches the ground, and he knew it as soon as he felt that sweet spot on the bat. Catch it out front. You keep it fair, Vaz. No more room.
Into right field. That's going to get down. Scotty DeBrule delivers a hit. And it has a fifth inning feel to it when they racked up 4 hits and scored 2. Well, again, Tanner is going to be a guy that will be back for them, the catcher. So the program is in great hands. As we'll see Jordan and Allen and others leave. Another part of the Bednar discussion, and you guys have touched on it too. So you've given us 6 innings of no-hit ball. You're not going to throw 9. We know that. So what's the end game? You're a hero. You've done exactly what you wanted for your team. At some point between now and the 9th inning, you're coming out of the game. So why not now? Why not the 6th inning? What's the difference between 7 innings and 6 innings?
Well, right now the argument is 2-0 Will Bednar. I just asked Fox.
I think we lost Chris's mic. We'll try to get that back.
I just went up to Scott Foxall, asked how the conversation went. He said that Will's going back in, so he won another argument.
Well, Sims is hot now.
That's a great shot right there of Rowdy Jordan and Tanner Allen.
Yeah, they'll be posing for a statue soon. They're able to get the last 9 outs.
Two balls and a strike to Braylon Skinner. Three and one. Runner goes. No call from Perry Costello. The throw down, but that was apparently ball 4. It was.
That was ball 4?
Apparently it was.
How was that not a strike?
I believe that ball was right down the middle. You at home, you tell us.
Where did that miss? I mean, the low strike has been a strike the entire day, and that center cut the plate.
It's above the knees.
So the runners are at first and second with 1 out. In fact, Perry Costello may have froze there. There's Kellen Clark. This ball is to right center field and deep. Bradfield going back, looking up. See you later. 3-run home run from Kellen Clark, and it's a blowout. Oh, Hail State 9-0.
Well, we said it from the beginning. Kellen Clark loves his fastball, and the kid's future is bright. He's got first pitch after getting a dose of off-speed pitches the entire series. Doesn't miss on this heater.
What a performance up and down for Mississippi State. 9 runs, 10 hits, no errors. They have not allowed a hit. And the contributions come from everywhere in the lineup. Second home run of the inning. Logan Tanner and now Kellum Clark, both guys back with State next year.
Now this McIlvain's done. He's been done for quite some time too. As soon as he puts 1 foot on that field, this is about to get louder too.
Kellum Clark's 5th home run of the season. That's a ball 4.
About to get loud here, fellas.
Tim Corbin has seen enough, and it is about to get very loud. 4 big runs in the inning, 2 home runs. Logan Tanner and a 3-run shot from Kellum Clark. The next Clark in line as a sweet swinging Mississippi State dog. He goes yard. And the only drama left right now is Will Bednar and his no-no. All State. Anyone on the road saw all the Mississippi State fans, the license plates. And they've been here since the get-go, and they get more and more of them each day.
I have a question for you guys.
We got.
How are we going to get into our hotel?
I'm thinking maybe copter to the roof.
Yeah.
Now this is a long coming celebration. And still we have the bottom of the 7th, 8th, and 9th, but it is 9-0. 4-run outburst here. Luke Murphy on the mound, and here comes Rowdy Jordan. A pandemic shortened 2020. The challenges that every team faced, playing in front of nobody and now in front of a packed house on national television. The efforts of Jordan and Allen, Bednar, Sims. Well, there you go. Maybe he's accepted the fact that this is not going to get any brighter as a star. You threw 6 innings in a clinching World Series game and you didn't give up a hit. I'll take that on my resume, top line.
It's the right call.
Rowdy Jordan's had a terrific night. He's got 3 hits.
Not like the fans need any more cheering, but it would have been really cool just to see him take the mound, just lob a couple pitches in there to warm up, and then allow the fan base to recognize what this man has been able to do in this College World Series.
All the way through this run, yeah.
Jordan gone.
97 for Murphy.
Smooth little 9 for 28 College World Series for Tanner Allen. They joked when they got here, like, this is old hat. They've been here 3 consecutive trips. They know where to go. They know the restaurants. They know the hotels. They know the people. They know the field.
You just haven't been here this long.
Brett McGarry, of course, took a no-hitter into the 8th earlier this World Series. That was then broken up by Mississippi State in a game Mississippi State won. At the third baseman, and that'll do it. We'll take a timeout. 9-0 State. 9 outs away. Take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance.
They gave it to this guy? Bednar, come on. All he did is go 6, didn't allow a hit, was going to come back out with a 7th until the lead got extended. But Will Bednar on 3 days rest has just made himself a Mississippi State legend.
Here comes Big Will, a lot of hugs, but take a look at what he did in his 3 starts at the College World Series. 18 in the third, 26 strikeouts, 3 earned runs. And Kyle's point is spot on. He and this group are going to be legends in Starkville forever. And this guy, the sophomore Landon Sims on the mound, he knew he'd be in this position when he committed to come to Mississippi State. That great story about his folks saying, hey, they're in the World Series in 19. I know you're going there, but do you want to go to Omaha and watch them? And he said flatly, I think we're going to have some opportunities to actually play, so let's save the money. We'll watch them on television. And he knew. And he's been waiting for this moment. Of course, didn't get into the game last night thanks to Preston Johnson, which allowed Lemonis to have the flexibility. And another day of rest for Sims, who's ahead of Dominic Keegan 0-2. Total domination by the Dogs tonight. In fact, the last 2 nights. Strike 3. Sims picks up number 1. Well, you got a chance for that tonight for sure, given who's on the mound. But we have not seen a combined no-hitter in the College World Series. You've got a 9-0 cushion, and you need somebody to throw strikes. Maybe the best guy out there right now just to throw strikes.
He's got a chance as a reliever to get to 100 strikeouts this year. Sims now at 97. 0-2 to Nola.
He gets right back on that rubber as quick as possible. Just waiting for Nola, the clock ticks, but he's ready to go.
Likely not going to be a 22nd violation on Sims.
Not at all.
So look at the list that Bednar is now on. Most strikeouts in a College World Series since 1974, since the aluminum bats showed up. He's popped into the 3rd spot with 26. Slow roller. And taking it himself with Sims bugging out of the way was Hancock. Giants and Diamondbacks Thursday, 10 o'clock Eastern time. San Francisco keeps rolling along, man. The idea you're playing with the Padres and Dodgers, and you've been carrying the torch in that division. 50-29. They have 50 wins, and after tonight, so will one of these 2 teams. Feels like it's going to be the maroon and white. So Bednar, 26 strikeouts. Dahlbeck and Chris Benson 26 strikeouts.
Dahlbeck, the same Dahlbeck that's hitting home runs in the big leagues. That
same
Dahlbeck.
guy.
Just want to make sure.
Guy from Arizona who played third base. Greg Swindell, 29. Jason Windsor, Cal State Fullerton, 29. That's the list Bednar is on with his performance at this College World Series.
The beauty of it, he was behind in a lot of counts, but he had the stuff to be able to even out those counts. And win the at-bats. And again, another 0-2 count for Vandy.
Spencer Jones, swing and a miss. Welcome to the game. Landon Sims joined the party. 6 outs away from their first national championship. Think about Rowdy Jordan, 3 hits. Tanner Allen, 2 hits. Logan Tanner, a home run. Scotty Dubrule has scored twice. So has Skinner, who is playing because Brad Cumbest got hurt. A home run from Kellum Clark. And a no-hitter combined from Will Bednar. And so far Landon Sims. Total team effort. Check, 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 check. Cameron James starts this inning off. I'll tell you one thing. Murphy fires the baseball.
Yes, he does. He's going to be in a big league bullpen sometime, that's for sure. Kind of crossfire throws across his body, but it's 96 to 97 and not a comfortable at bat for a right-hander.
Outmade by Carter Young. I think most of the people that looked at the series when it started felt like Mississippi State had an advantage, partly because of the way that each team was playing. Got to remember, Vanderbilt was not at the top of their game for the most part the entire week.
They really haven't hit.
No, they haven't hit at all. I mean, they're hitting below 200 coming into this game and don't have a hit tonight.
They were riding the right arms of Leiter and Rocker. And you got to the critical game and you had your guy, Mr. Postseason, 3-0 in elimination games. But you're dealing with a red-hot Mississippi State team. That's going to get down, and it's going to get by Isaiah Thomas. Luke Hancock to second.
That's not a good look right there. And I don't care what the score is, you still have to show a little effort there. And we've seen him make a spectacular play down the line. We know the potential is there. This is a line drive. We know it's going to drop. Then he tries a barehanded instead of using the glove. Add another error.
Single and an error, their third of the game. Here's Logan Tanner. He's got a bomb tonight. That's hard hit. Smothered over there by Keegan. That's what he's got to do as a first baseman, just knock it down, and they pick up out number 2. Scotty Dubrule next up. That's off, ball 1.
Two.
2019 Vanderbilt Commodores had Mason Hickman, Rocker, and Drake Fellows all go over the 100 strikeout mark. Only 3 schools in the conference history have had 3 reach 100. As Kyle pointed out, Sims is knocking on that door. His presence has been a huge story in this season for Mississippi State. Late on that fastball at 94. Squared up, but Bradfield takes 3 steps back, and he's there for the 3rd out. Bottom of the 8th, Sims back on the bump, still a 0 in that hit column for the Commodores. Back here in Omaha, and then Sims back on the bump. He will start things off in the 8th inning with C.J. Rodriguez, Carter Young, and then Isaiah Thomas. 9-0 in a game to decide the College World Series champion. Like everyone else in the Vanderbilt order, the O comes before their at bats tonight. They have yet to get a hit. 2 balls and a strike. How do you think Ron Polk is feeling tonight? He won 1,139 games. He's been hanging around this program. He's always talking to the players, having fun with them. And what do you think going through his brain right now?
I'm going to tell you this. I bet he has a special cigar that he's been waiting for a moment like this. Because if you know Ron Polk, he's always got a cigar in his mouth. I've seen him in the hotel twice. He had one in his mouth both times. Guarantee you there's a separate one that's been waiting for tonight that'll get fired up.
This one to left, and it should be playable. Skinner keeps cutting in front of Jordan. He's having a good time out there.
I'll tell you, if it's the last out, though, Rowdy's going to take that one.
I think he probably will.
He'll let him have this one.
He's happy to defer to Skinner. You got a center fielder playing center and a center fielder playing left right now.
Yeah.
And he's having some fun out there, too.
Like it.
It's always good when the fans behind you have your back. And in front of you, and to the side of you. It's all Mississippi State here in Omaha.
Too low.
Want to know to Carter Young. Now 2 balls and no strikes.
Uh-oh, Dak. No, almost. That's like Dak. Dak goes and he takes off his hat.
Is he going to make a play?
Oh, yeah, he's trying to. He's working on it.
3-1. Doc was great last night. A fan caught a baseball about 4 rows in front of him, turned around to celebrate that he caught a baseball, and Dak had a Sharpie in his hands real quick. That's strike 2, and signed the baseball and sent it back to him. He's on hand to witness the championship here for Mississippi State, and they're hoping to get another out here in the 8th. Young, and that's going to break up the no-hitter. He sends one into center field, and the first hit of the night for Vanderbilt comes in the 8th with 1 out. He shook off a couple of the signs, and he put it down to the lefty, and he delivered.
He threw it down in the zone.
Yep.
You know, Carter Young has struggled on pitches up, middle up. This is the one that he's able to handle, and he's able to get that base hit. He was dropped in the order from 2 to 7. Gets that base hit to break up the no-no.
So a no-hitter for 7 1/3 in the championship game. So Will Bednar over there saying it doesn't matter. We just want to win a championship. Thomas being pinch hit for by Troy Leneve, the sophomore. He and Bednar both come from the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. And for a long time, Leneve was the guy that was in the middle of this order. Wonder if that play defensively in the outfield had something to do with Leneve getting the at bat for Thomas.
Would not be surprised. 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. The matchup indicates this one's best, but after you see that effort in right field, Coach Corbin, doesn't matter what the score is, he's going to respect this game, and he wants his kids to play it the right way no matter what it says on that scoreboard.
That's a good pitch. Strike 3 from Sims. Leneve is done. Sims third.
A bit more crossfire tonight from Landon Sims. He misses his spot, but he still catches the plate. Trying to go fastball away. Ends up fastball on the inner third, but that one locks up Leneve. Third strikeout of the night for Landon Sims, his 99th of the season.
You want to break down Will Bednar's night as we take a look at the most strikeouts without a walk since the aluminum bat showed up at 74. Sims 14. The name at the top of that list was decent. That's in there, 1-1. So Bednar 6 no-hit innings. He had 9 ground ball outs, 3 more than he had in any other start. It really was a bit of a pitch to contact effort from him tonight. 65 strikes with his fastball. Hitters 0 for 9 against the fastball, 4 for 35 in Omaha. They didn't hit his fastball, and 3 of his 4 strikeouts. He punched out 4, came on a slider.
I believe he had to. After the second inning, he had 46 pitches, more than 46 pitches thrown. He knew that if he wanted to stay, if he had to stay in the game longer, he had to pitch the contact.
Going to be the leading candidate for most outstanding player, doesn't he?
Absolutely. The only candidate besides him is actually the entire team defense.
Yeah. Three and 1 on the way to Jason Gonzalez, the 9-hole hitter for Vanderbilt. 3 and 2. Cameras out. Everyone stands for every out as they move another step closer. No, but you have to wait because you're not sure when Perry Costello is going to make the call. It's ball 4, and there are 2 aboard.
Pitches outside. Then again, for a lot of lefty hitters, that's been a strike. It looks so good from the bench. It really does.
And Bradfield sends that towards the seats. Skinner will run through a wall. I mean, there is, remember the home run that was hit earlier this week when he jumped directly into the left field screen out there. He doesn't see wall. And I would feel bad for the wall if Skinner's going to run into it.
He sees ball, ball, and more ball.
The Doug Glanville ball, wall, ball. He skips the wall part.
There's a few in the stands at this point that are seeing 3 balls also.
On the ground, a second easy one there for DeBrule, and they are 3 outs away from a World Series championship, and they know it. So Ron Polk, 2009 College Baseball Hall of Fame. 2 stints at Mississippi State, 76 to 97, then 02 to 08. He lives in the same neighborhood as Chris Lemonis, although he will make a distinction between the areas within the neighborhood that they live. Had some players out there. He'll take him around, tour him, and say, oh no, and there's a big museum in his own house that's got all sorts of the memorabilia from his 1,139 wins and his 3 SEC titles and 6 trips to the World Series. So I hope you've enjoyed this house. See over there, like way up in the corner, that's where the Lemonis, that's where he lives. That's the other section of this neighborhood.
Chris was talking about, he's got like a lot on this side he owns, a lot on that side of his own. He's got his own everything, and I'm up in the corner, and he makes sure that he tells everybody where I'm at. Well, everybody's going to know where he's at right now. Ron Polk, I was walking by him last night. Every single person that walks by him, hey coach, hey coach, hey coach, hey coach, every single one. It's the impact he had on that program. Thomas Schultz in to try to get the final 3 outs, or it would appear to be the final 3 outs of the season for Vanderbilt.
We've been here since the beginning, and the really cool aspect to what Mississippi State has done over the course of the year as they're in line for their 50th win, but just over these last 10 days is the contributions that have been made from everybody. Preston Johnson last night saved the bullpen. He was phenomenal. Skinner with his stolen base. Tanner Leggett, who doesn't play, comes up with a game-winning hit. Then you get into the guys like Rowdy and Tanner and Bednar. DeBrule. Forsythe's been great defensively for them.
This has been a complete team effort.
Full count.
There's the coach.
You see, my place is right in the middle of the neighborhood, and then you go up the street, you take 2 lefts and a right, and that's Lemonis all the way in the back. That's where he's at.
And you got to look hard to find it. It's a small place compared to what we're looking at here.
I'll tell you guys this. When Mississippi State wins this one, it'll be a gated fence around Lemonis's house. Still picking up the bats.
Quite a story again, given where he's been, and John Cohen reached out to get Lemonis to take this job. It's a sought-after job given its long history, but no one's been able to cross over that threshold and win a championship. And this is year 3 for Lemonis. The program still has some fingerprints from the predecessors. They got good players for sure. Lemonis is big into the guys that can do everything, but more important, he likes the thumpers. He likes the Kellum Clarks. He likes the guys that can hit the ball over the wall. And the combination of he and Jake Gautreaux, who preach the 2-strike approach, bat on the ball, put the ball in play. That's a really good combination.
A lot of stuff that he's picked up also from professional baseball. The shift, he's very aggressive with it on the defensive side. He doesn't bunt as much as other programs. The hitters are there with a purpose, especially with 2 strikes, and tonight more than ever that 2-strike approach has come up big.
Now Lane Forsythe 0-1, 1-1. And that one is going to get through. Lane Forsythe, 3 hits last night. He picks up his first here tonight. And the future's pretty bright for Lane Forsythe. He gets that hit to a ball. What we've seen defensively.
How about this?
Yeah.
This is awesome.
College baseball and a sports team in a college town is all about the impact Riley Jordan's made on these people over the last 3. That's ripped. Just foul.
I wouldn't be surprised right now if Tanner Allen's telling him, you better give me one, save me one.
Right. I want one more too.
Get a chill watching mom. Imagine what it sounds like to hear her son's name chanted in a ballpark with 26,000 people. I spent some time in a car driving between tournaments, etc. Won't chase. One and two, right field, and that one is caught in right field, and that will end it. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Mississippi State, Sims, Lamonis, Bednar and company 3 outs away from a championship. It's about to end. Most College World Series appearances without a title. Florida State 23. Even Eddie couldn't win one. Clemson 12. Nope. Mississippi State right there with 11. Carolina, Arkansas. This is their 12th appearance, and barring a shocking development, they will get off that list. Sims will get Javier Vaz, Dominic Keegan, and Parker Nolan. 3 outs away from the Dogs' first championship.
I think this year was a state of mind more than anything. We're tired of coming to Omaha and not winning this thing. We're going to win it. It wasn't about just getting to Omaha. It was about winning in Omaha. And their pitching has shown up.
What's funny is if you go back a month, you go back to the SEC tournament, Mississippi State went to Hoover, got beat like 23-2 combined in 2 straight days, and it was bedlam in Starkville. Like, what are we going to do? It's over. This team's no good. Now they're 3 outs away from making history.
Just imagine the emotions of Lamonis on that bench. Talked about the last thing he said to the group on the field was going out and winning a natty, and knowing this may be the last time that this group collectively is together. They are 2 outs away.
How appropriate. Another ground ball that's just eaten up by the defense. Fundamentally sound the entire CWS.
Dak Prescott in the house, Ron Polk in the house. Lamonis' dad Thomas watching back at home, a 73 grad of Mississippi State. Remember on Father's Day, Chris talked about his father. He shared a photo of him. He said, my dad grew up without his dad in his life, so he decided to be my super dad. I wouldn't be who I am in life without him. He has always been there for me and our family. Think about Jake Mangum, who we just saw here recently, and Adam Frazier and Will Clark, Palmero, Brent Rooker, the Cowboy Jeff Brantley. So many that have worn the uniform and have helped create one of the great baseball, forget college, forget any other level, one of the great environments in all of baseball back home in Starkville. It's only going to get bigger and better. Jonathan Papelbon there. Three-two. It's quickly, KP, winning a championship for a program that's already established. What does that do to the program to have that title? Because they're there already in a lot of eyes. They have the facilities.
Oh, I mean, they've got as good a facilities as there is in the entire country. They have as good a fan base as there is in the entire country. But I think, I don't know, it was almost like there was always this disrespect factor of we've accomplished everything but.
Yep.
And there is such great tradition historically at this university on the baseball side, and this just wipes away anything that there was any question about it. Punch out right there, and Starkville is 1 out away from going absolutely nuts, and this place already is.
This is Starkville, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is.
We're in that bubble. I'll tell you this, it's the fact that when you go to Vanderbilt, when you go to LSU, they won't say, well, do you have one? Yes, we do.
Parker Noland with 2 outs in the 9th. Pushes a bunt to third. James to first. He's out. What a way to end it. And what a way to end a drought. Mississippi State, the national champions, destroying Vanderbilt 9-0. Effort, a lot of emotion. Congratulations, Ron Polk. He built this thing. And Lemonis and his club just carried the football over the goal line with Dak Prescott, etc., here to watch it. There's been a lot of time and energy and money put into that facility by several of the alumni. And they had a hand in this as well. Will Bednar, 6 innings of no-hit ball here in Game 3 of the College World Series Finals. Mississippi State legend. Rowdy Jordan, legend. Tanner Allen, legend. Last 2 games, Mississippi State has outscored Vanderbilt, the champion from 19, 22-2. They held them to 1 hit tonight. And fittingly, the defense, which has been dynamite, committing no errors, forced to make a terrific play, Cameron James. And thankfully, we weren't about to review or replay or appeal.
No, not at all. And I'm telling you right now, that defense played big. Their base running played big. Their veterans played big, and their manager played huge.
Let's go down to Chris Budden with Chris Lemonis.
He's got the cowbell. Coach Lemonis, Mississippi State national champions. It's never been said before. How does it sound?
It's awesome. It is awesome. For all these kids, for all the players who played here before us, and for these fans, it's unbelievable.
You ran out to be a part of the dog pile. We've talked about the grind of the season. What does it mean to watch these guys celebrate?
Well, I kept telling the guys our dream was to win it at the end. and I was going to jump on the dog pile. So I don't think they were real happy about that. But I made it on, and it means everything to all of us, our fans, our administration, our players. It's just a huge night for Mississippi State.
We talked earlier about the grind. For those that don't understand, can you explain what this team has had to go through to get to this point?
It's been a long year. I mean, our kids we've had our backs against the walls a lot of times, and they're just tough. We just got tough kids in our program. They'll never give up, and they kept playing to the very end, and we're the last one standing.
A lot of these guys will be wearing a Mississippi State uniform for the last time. Tanner, Rowdy, Bednar. What does it mean to win a title before they leave Starkville?
Well, they're going to be legends here. I mean, these kids that have won tonight, and you know, just so much fun to get a chance to coach them. You know, I'm so thankful. They're wonderful kids, and they're great competitors, and I'm so happy for them.
All day there's been a little tear in your eye, and it's there now. What makes it so emotional tonight?
Well, it's a special night for all of us. I've told recruits in the recruiting process it'll be kind of like when the Cubs won it. When Mississippi State wins it, it's going to be a big party, and I have a feeling we're going to have a big party tonight.
There might be a big party back in the nursing home in Starkville. If Dad is watching, what do you want to say?
Yeah, my dad is back there with my sister, and Dad, I love you. We'll be bringing the trophy by the nursing home this week, so we'll have a lot of fun.
I appreciate it, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank
Go
you.
celebrate.
Hail State!
What a moment for Chris Lemonis and this team and this fan base tonight. You get to ring a cowbell at TD Ameritrade after you shut them out. Capital One Tournament Most Outstanding Player, not a surprise. It is Will Bednar. He went out on minimal rest, 3 days, and all he did was not give up a hit. A completely dominating performance that sends Vanderbilt home. They will not join South Carolina as a team to repeat. They won it in 19. They will not do it here. The SEC, the dominant baseball conference in the country, gets another championship, and for the first time, it's Mississippi State. I can't imagine what that must have felt like for Chris Lemonis, and it's not been a long time for him. This is 3 years.
Yeah, and I mean, he's been here every year, and now he's brought something back to Starkville that nobody's ever brought back to Starkville. I know we talked about it, but it's hard to explain what this means to this fan base, because it is such a diehard baseball fan base that has wanted this from the days of Thunder and Lightning and everything all the way through with this Mississippi State team and the history of it. I mean, man, they're going to party here. They're going to party in Starkville, and they will never forget this moment.
Right. Yeah, there'll be a party on I-29 on the way down south. This is a fan base that's very impressive, but what's also impressive is the veteran players that led the way. 5 hits today between Rowdy Jordan and Tanner Allen. You look at those two guys with Bednar, they left their mark and imprint, and get ready to pose because they're going to have a statue.
And the guy that got the last 9 outs. I mean, when you talk to Chris Lemonis about leaders, it's Rowdy, Tanner, Sims. Those are the first 3 that he talks about. The guys that lead this entire club. Who led him today? It was Rowdy, Tanner, and Landon Sims that got the last 9 outs, and Will Bednar was incredible throughout this entire tournament.
You know, folks talk about baseball and the fact that there are 3 true outcomes now. Not the case here. You know, this was a fundamentally sound team that didn't make an error. 13 hits, couple of home runs, and now they'll circle the field and make sure that all of the 20,000 plus fans that are here get a chance to celebrate with them.
But you know what? The best team in Omaha won.
Absolutely.
This was the best team on both sides of the baseball. They hit, they battled with 2 strikes, and boy did they play defense.
This is what they do when they win a super in Starkville, is go all the way around Dudy Noble. This place kind of feels like Dudy Noble right now.
It
it's
sure
cool
does.
to see him do it here.
It sure does.
They're going to find out it's a bigger outfield too. But they don't care.
But all those drills that they do, and the early mornings, and the weight room, and the programs that they're put on in the off season, this is the payoff, the ultimate payoff.
I want to add to this. If you're a parent, bring your kid to Omaha. Let them witness and experience what the College World Series is about, because it's special.
And good on the fans that made that pilgrimage up I-29, because there were a lot of them. I mean, you have people who are in Starkville still, we think. Certainly the family that runs the dog or the pet hotel, who had to take care of all the pets while the folks came up here. Other than that, it'll start getting brighter and more busy as folks make their way back home, and they're walking home with their chest puffed out. I want to thank all the folks too from ESPN behind the scene who make a real first experience on the road post-pandemic so smooth. Chandon Huggins, of course, and Emily Turner, our great director, Scott Johnson, who's seen 31 of these, and for the first time gets a chance to see Mississippi State win a championship. Our backbench producer, Scott Gustafson, who is going to head overseas, get some time off with the family, well deserved, and of course everyone else that you don't see have been rock stars for us. Chris Budden's been a superhero. Tom Hart, Ben McDonald, Chris Burke, and of course my buddies up here in the booth, Kyle Peterson and Eduardo Perez. One hit for Vanderbilt. One. No hits allowed by the starter. And look at that night sky. Are you kidding me? Is that maroon?
There's some white in there too.
It is tonight.